Welcome to Hopkinton Coffee Break, your home for current community talk, with Patricia Duarte, Darlene Hayes, and Connie Wright.
Hello, and welcome to Hopkinton Coffee Break. We're here, Marathon Weekend Kickoff, and we're here with our guest, Lisa Nickerson.
Good morning.
Who's got some wonderful ties to Hopkinton we're going to learn all about. So we're really just sort of meeting officially kind of for the first time.
Well, actually, we've gotten to know Lisa a little bit over the last couple of years.
And I met you last year.
Right. And stuff, and you know, she's done some work in town, but her connections are a little bit deeper than that. Her brother lives in town, and so she's been coming to Hopkinton for years and getting to know the community, and actually has a lot of roots in the community. But because of business, she made a connection in town that has led to something very personal and a personal mission, and why she's been supporting the marathon, and I'd like to tell that story a little bit.
Welcome, welcome. We're happy to have you. Absolutely.
Then we'll talk more about you later.
So you met somebody in town and you found a personal connection.
Right.
Tell us about that.
So I am in Hopkinton quite a bit for my family, and I do everything from visit to holding the signs for my sister-in-law Lori when she won school committee, and right in the center of town. So I'm really proud of her for that, and Rob for everything they've done with the schools. So
they were at Kenyon Day yesterday.
Oh, you know, actually, Rob had that on Facebook about how great it was.
Isn't that awesome?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never been, but my kids loved it. They were
for years. That has been a big event at the Elmwood School.
And it's like a ticker take thing. Like they blow confetti in, they run in through dry ice, and stuff like that.
Amazing.
And I mean, I've been fortunate that I got to go all 4 years. My kids were in that school. Because I was a volunteer in the school, and they let so many.
So you
in.
actually got to
I've been there 4 times when my kids were there, and then I've been there several times as a guest of a VIP. You know, I might have been escorting someone in.
And so our town manager spoke to the Kenyans in their native language the first time.
Oh, wow.
The new town manager when he went to the first event. So that was very special.
Actually, we ran into one of the Kenyans yesterday at Bittersweet before she was heading over there.
Oh, cool.
So you, I mean, that was your family that got to see that yesterday, but you met through your family.
I met the Benfords. Actually, no, I met the Benfords through a business contact, actually.
Okay.
And often in some of the projects that I work on in real estate, various local community foundations or initiatives, they'll come and ask for funding or support from various real estate developers.
And what is your business? Let's just put it out there.
So I own a public relations and marketing agency.
Okay, and it's called?
Nickerson. And
she actually just moved her office from Waltham to Boston. So she's in the heart of Boston right now.
Yeah, right.
Great view.
470 Atlantic. We love it. We love it.
Nice.
Oh, that's really nice. I know where that is.
Yeah.
She's got a great staff.
Yeah, thanks.
So
we've done a lot with Darlene recently. So
talk about the family that you met.
Right. So somebody working with KeepSmilin4Abbie had reached out to the developer that I was working with to look for support because they were looking for various community initiatives and opportunities to support, and so they tend to come to me then, and I sort through them, and I sort of vet out what we're going to do and how we're going to support it and the dollars and when I got the Keep
And you
Smiling,
have a big heart.
right. And so when we got the Keep Smiling one, it hit me very quickly because I am anaphylactic also, and I have food allergies, and have had very serious reactions and have gone into anaphylactic shock. The worst being with my brother right there. And
at a barbecue, wasn't it?
Actually, it was a BC tailgate. And so it was after a football game. And there were some cookies on the table, and I mean, it's so close to tragic because I was 26. I had a 9-month-old. I'd known since I was a kid that I was not allergic, but my throat would get itchy. And I think that one of the things that the Benfords, and I know I really want to support them in this, are trying to help people understand is that just because you haven't had a reaction doesn't mean you won't.
Right.
And just because it only happens like this, or this only happens, it doesn't mean next time won't be entirely different.
Right.
And so again, if you think about it, I just had a child.
You ended up in an ambulance.
Oh yeah, well yeah. So let me get this because here I was 26. I wasn't a kid. I had a nut allergy as long as I could remember.
But not severe, just
my throat
bothersome.
would itch. My throat would itch.
A lot of people this is such good messaging.
And I saw an allergist regularly because I have asthma. I saw my OBGYN regularly because I just had a baby. I saw my general doctor. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't see doctors regularly.
Right.
And anyone had just said to me, well, you should be careful, your throat could close. And that's all I knew about it. So I would be careful.
I have to tell you, you gave me goosebumps, because what people don't understand is with those kinds of allergies, not your sneezing, hay fever allergies, but when you have, it can be foodborne, it can be agent reactive borne, but if you have any kind of physical reaction where you get hives or throat closing, each subsequent exposure, it actually is getting worse.
Right.
You don't realize it.
Sure.
And so people don't understand that, oh, it's not been a big deal.
Right.
That next one could be that big deal.
Right, and we don't know what makes the difference, and we don't know why. And so, back to, I'm 26, and I'm at a tailgate, and there were some cookies on the table, and I wasn't sure if there were nuts in them, but I never had to be that careful, because my throat would get itchy, right?
It just, big deal, no big deal.
So I actually it was a really little cookie, and my...
was it good at least?
Who knows?
It looked like what looked like a Girl Scout Samoa cookie, actually. And so I thought it was coconut on the top, which I'm fine with. I turned to my then husband, and I asked him to take a bite. I said, "Are there nuts in that?" I mean, that's how careful I was. Are there nuts in that? He said, "No, I don't think so." And I popped the rest of the cookie in my mouth, and right away my throat got so uncomfortable and itchy and sort of crazy. And my brother was there, and Mark, my ex-husband, was there, and they're looking at me like, "What do we do?" And I'm like, "I don't know what to do." And so, we very quickly, my throat started closing, and I started to go into shock. And we happened to be very close to the side of, if you're familiar with Sheffield at BC, we were right at the garage. So we were parked right at the garage. And so I went through the garage, and I was yelling to the police officers, like, my throat's closing, and they grabbed me, and it's all sort of a blur, but they were yelling over the ambulance, because I had no idea what was happening.
And at least there's an ambulance on site, too.
Yeah, the ambulance was right there, and I remember them throwing me in there and pulling my shirt open and putting things all over me, and they were trying to get IVs going, and they couldn't get IVs going because my blood pressure had already collapsed.
Oh my God.
So they hit me with Epi, and I couldn't breathe, and they were trying to hold oxygen on me, and I was kind of hitting people trying to get them off because I didn't want anything on my face.
You can't catch your breath.
Well, you're in panic.
It was crazy. And so as we were going, they grabbed my brother and Mark, put them in the ambulance. We were racing over to St. Elizabeth's, and it really went from being chaotic to then me just fading out, like really feeling like I was fading out. And what's happening is your body's shutting down and doesn't know that medicine's going to save you. And I can hear the EMTs, the panic, and this isn't working, and they're trying to keep me talking, and I'm just sort of going, I'd sort of given up of like...
You're just floating.
Right, exactly. And
imagine.
I remember them saying, this isn't working, hit her again, and then just another epi. And so they pulled into St. Elizabeth's, and the team jumped on me, and I don't remember much until a little while later, and they had me stabilized, but people couldn't leave the room for hours. And my brother looked at me and he goes, "So should we call Mom and Dad now?" I was like, then I actually said, "Not yet." I said, "I need a little more time."
Now, having had that experience.
So after that, I met with, so there were police that were there, and they told me that by the time they saw me, I'd actually already sort of blown up, like my face and hives. And so it happened very, very quickly. Everybody told me, including so many doctors after, that it was so close. They said, had there been any more traffic going to St. Elizabeth's, had you been on any side, the other side of the field, had you been anywhere else in that stadium, you would not have made it. They said it was that close.
Right.
And so there is a post-traumatic stress from that.
Oh, gotcha.
Every day I know I can eat the wrong thing.
Yep.
And it's happened a number of times since. And so recently I was, I'm going to jump a little bit, but I was with the Benfords, and we were at the Wyss Institute, and they were reporting on the advances that they'd made based on the donations of KeepSmilin4Abbie to Wyss. And when I was sitting at the table, one of the things I asked all of these researchers and doctors and the Benfords, I said, has anybody here actually been in shock before? And no one had. And I said,
"What? I have."
Yeah. And so maybe you can understand that I said, I think I'm a smart woman and I'm well educated and I've had multiple experiences now. And every time when it starts, I make the wrong decision.
Well,
I don't grab my Epi. I tell people to wait because I want to see.
But I've been with.
I panic.
And I'm the one that has been like, okay, do you have an EpiPen? No. Does anybody have Benadryl? You know, and have been through the, like, we got to do the triage now. But I grew up in a medical family, so I got sort of like,
I panic.
Yeah, I have anaphylactic allergies too. Mine aren't, as of now, they're not nut allergies, but they're all nutted fruits. So they'd be like peaches, plums, anything with a pit in it that and stuff. And so, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, I they were able to control it with Benadryl. We pulled up to the firehouse, but I'd already sucked at Benadryl. Yeah, this was 2 weeks ago. Benadryl and like a lot of water, and I was able to. But basically, the hives came in so fast and not to be able to breathe that it feels like your face is burning and your throat's burning.
Now, I will tell you that if Stephen Benford was sitting here, he would tell you that it wouldn't matter they controlled it with Benadryl because it actually stays in your system, and he would say you absolutely have to Epi because you don't know if it's
I opened the glove box. I had the Epi in my pen, and I was frozen.
You make the wrong decision.
And I made
somebody
the wrong
else
decision.
should do it.
Right.
My
And
husband
why did
pulled.
you hesitate?
I don't know. My husband pulled
who
up.
wants to
my
Epi
husband-
themselves,
my son-
right? I mean,
You almost, this is why
my son,
I have done the Epi.
My son's in the back seat. My husband's
the person
driving.
doesn't want
He
to.
pulls up to
Right.
the firehouse.
Gonna be better.
One at a time, folks.
So you know, we had just picked up takeout in Ashland,
Yep.
and I had sat at the bar, had a margarita and some salsa with Andrew, and then Andrew was in the
don't know
back
what it
seat,
was?
and well, we found out what it was, a little bit more of what it was, and then literally from the time we got from downtown Ashland to where Weston Nursery was, I couldn't breathe. And by then, Michael's shoving Benadryl down me because we keep him in the car. I had the EpiPen in my hand. He went straight to the firehouse, pulled up front, and I'm like, "Don't get out! They're gonna make me pull down my pants and give me a shot." And I'm like, "Just give me water, just give me water."
And I said to
Andrew's
Darlene, you
trying
can
to
do
get
it right through your jeans, right? They said, don't pull down.
It's a
They
needle,
just go.
because I've never even seen
It's a needle.
It-
I mean, I carry one. It's kind of funny because I have to do I'm going to be doing a fundraiser for Carolyn Dykema, and it's at a pollinating garden. And I'm like, it's going to be the first one that I actually have to make sure that it's actually on my body.
Yeah.
Because that's the other one is bees and stuff. But
my point is that people around you need to know, one, where your EpiPen is, because, like you said,
Right.
when you're in it, you actually make bad decisions.
Right.
And it's your people around you that often are the ones that say they need to know how to administer it and to do it,
Right.
and to not hesitate. Nobody has died from using an EpiPen and they didn't need it.
Right. But
Nobody-
people have died from not having Epi when they needed it.
Exactly. But my point is, nobody has died because somebody overreacted and
Right.
used the EpiPen.
Right.
And that is just like, I'm sorry,
when I'm sitting there and I think, oh, I'm overreacting. I'm making a scene. I'm creating drama. And when you're at a restaurant or somewhere out, sometimes you don't want to be that person. Or I've plenty of times not wanted to be that person at a table who I'm like, oh, these are my allergies, you know. Especially if it's a business setting.
Yeah.
Because then everyone wants to talk about your allergies. And and so there are times that I may say it to them ahead of time, but even now restaurants will come to the table and they sort of make a big deal out of it. So what they're finding is people then don't say anything because they don't want to be that person, right? So
I understand that. And so I feel there's a really important role with the people you're with.
yes.
So I always go, oh no, she has a food allergy. Because I find you don't want to be the one making the scene, and
Right.
you really need a bestie
Right.
to stand up for you.
Right.
And I say that with great respect. And like I said, you need the bestie to know where the EpiPen is and let them overreact
Right.
because you don't want to.
I don't think I'd call anybody out, but I would encourage anybody with allergies to not be shy. Don't,
Yeah.
don't be shy.
Right.
I know that you've mentioned the Benford's name a few times,
Yeah.
and a lot of us in the community know who they are, and David
Let's
and Amy.
tell that story.
And so my kids were in school with both the Abbie. So you have been an athlete, you've trained for the marathon before, you've run the marathon before. Said years ago you were never going to run again. Now you're back at it again.
So how many
and this
times?
one,
Excuse me. How many
This
times
is
have you run?
fifth. This
Yeah.
is 5. And so
And,
I was on the board, or I am on the board of Housing Families in Malden, and I've run 4 times for them.
Okay.
And after meeting the Benfords, I told them that this would be my cause, and
So-
that I felt that
So-
it was my job and my duty.
So
since I
let's
lived
explain.
to do this.
I think everybody knows the cause. However, there
Well, I
may be
want to
some
say who
people
the
that
charity
don't.
is.
Yeah.
It's Keep Smiling for Abbie, and it's Keep Smiling without a G, the number 4, Abbie, ABBIE, and their foundation. We'll actually have it printed up on the show.
Their
And-
daughter passed away from anaphylactic shock.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, the day they were having her 16th birthday that
Yeah,
night.
and it was just she consumed something, and there was no EpiPen or anything.
No,
there was.
Oh,
no,
nobody knew.
No, they do.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just was a
Yeah.
tragic,
Yeah.
Yeah,
horrible
no,
no,
they
thing.
thought she was
They-
having an asthma attack.
Right, they
Well,
did.
no, but I'm saying that
She
I-
did.
They EPI'd her?
She EPI'd. She was EPI'd. Yes, and
wow.
she was absolutely EPI'd. Her
Yeah.
parents, everyone did everything right for Abbie.
Yeah.
It was
too
just
fast.
it was just too fast. Everything was done right for her.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought the
Yep. And from the time that they EPI'd her and called 911, it was only 6 minutes, and she'd already gone into cardiac arrest.
Right, and I
So-
mean, they kept her at the hospital for several days, and then
yeah.
it just wasn't going to last.
Let me too just say that on page 14 of The Independent, there's a wonderful full-page article on the
Keep Smiling.
charity, Keep Smiling for Abbie, and more about Lisa, and encourage you to read. This is a great
And Samantha Lee,
addition.
who's the other
Yeah,
runner for
there's
Keep
also-
Samantha
Smiling.
Lee.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's a good friend of the family.
There's another runner that's running for Keep Smiling, and that's Samantha Lee. And we've got a lot of runners that are on the Real Housewives of Hopkinton. And at the end, I'll do a shout out for all of them. But because, you know, the past few weeks, we've actually done a lot of focus on the marathon leading up to it. We've had an author on, we had, you know, the person who runs Girls on the Run and talking about the Bobby Gibb and the book and everything else. We had Tim Kildoff on talking about 26.2 and, you know, these beads that will be on the Common with Confidence beads. And we've had, you know, Anne Michelle, who runs for Project Just Because, and Jeannie Von Baca before,
Yep.
who actually, what their experience was coming out of the marathon 3 years ago, and this is one Boston Day.
Right.
So it makes it all that more special, but because there was a real personal connection also with myself, with Anaphylactic, our friendship, I really wanted,
Feature you.
Oh, thank you.
to you, but also, you know, let people know ways of helping the Bedford Families Charity.
Sure.
One is, you know, supporting the 2 runners, and the
Yeah.
other is upcoming in May. They have a Derby Day. And I believe that's May 7th.
Yes.
And it's at the Warren Center. It's a fun afternoon. You can bring kids, everything else.
Yeah.
It's prior to the race,
It's prior to the race. And
but it's a kid-friendly event.
yeah.
So if you don't mind, I'd love to talk about Project Abbie, which is
Yes.
what all of this money goes towards. So
Right.
not only do they, are they, you know, supporting research and trying to educate people more, like Darlene and myself, to actually epi ourselves, but they're working with the Wyss Institute at Harvard. So they've really partnered with the best of the best in the world, and the Wyss Institute is they're creating a new device that will identify that you're going into anaphylactic shock before you even know you are.
Yeah.
So somebody like Darlene and myself, it's going to go off, and it's going to immediately epi you. So you're
Oh, it's a wearable
It's a
that it
wearable.
automatically.
Oh, brilliant.
Almost like diabetics have.
Right, and so it will. So
Like a pump.
we don't have the choice
Yes.
as to whether should I or shouldn't I.
It
It's
doesn't.
going to recognize that you're
I have
going into
goosebumps
shock.
with you. That is amazing.
And it will Bluetooth 911 your location.
Wow.
You're
Oh
going
my
into
God.
anaphylaxis. So that time, those minutes, everything, and
Will this be coming out in the near future, or is that
well,
in,
it's in research. So that was the meeting that we did just recently where we got to see where they were with it, and we got to tour the different, the labs and what they were doing and how they thought it might work, and that's what this money goes to. So what is interesting and scary is that, so again, my anaphylactic reaction was 15 years ago. In the past 15 years, anaphylaxis, the number of people who are anaphylactic has doubled.
I was going to say, is
So-
this a new trend or
Yeah,
something?
so
or we're just,
15 million Americans that they know of are anaphylactic, but that's doubled in 15 years.
Wow.
So what are we doing, right, to our bodies, to our
Right,
environment, to our
exactly.
food that's causing this? We don't know. So we have to treat it until they can solve it. So all these kids, all these adults, all these people who suddenly have these allergies, you don't always know how to react. And having all those EpiPens in the nurse's office doesn't do you a heck of a lot of good when those kids
Right.
are on the playground or they're in the
class
there's
or
still
whatever.
time to get it to them.
And they're
right?
actually not allowed to carry them with them. That's the thing. In public
Right.
schools,
Right.
Like if I was in Hopkinton High School right now, I'm not allowed to have my EpiPen in my backpack.
I wonder why.
Well, because it's medicine, and because someone else could take it, and someone else could hurt it.
Right.
But there are times
you won't have it when you need it.
and that they're, they always think like, well, we can get to a nurse within like 3 to 4 minutes.
But you only have 6.
May not have.
And that's
You have
it.
6 minutes with anaphylaxis. So, so I think that this device is so important,
Valuable.
and
Wow.
that's what this money's going toward. And I think that anybody who knows anybody who has a latex, a medicine, or a food allergy would be all over this and saying, wow, this is going to save lives, and this is really, really important. And so,
So glad you're sharing. I'm blessed to not have allergies, and just hearing this. I had read your story before about being at Boston College. My daughter graduated there, and just the luck of being where you were, and and then the tragedy of Abbie. It's just, and I have relatives, kids who have the allergies, and it's scary. And it's good to have this information.
My mother lost her best friend to an anaphylactic attack.
right.
Wow.
Her son, her husband was a merchant marine. Her son was at school, and she had it at home alone.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, looking even at Abbie's case, they did epi her, and so. But she did think she was having an asthma attack at first. So had she had the device, would there have been a different outcome? Because she would have been epied faster, sooner, minutes earlier.
Yeah.
So this is why it's so important. And of course, this is a Hopkinton family, and it's the marathon,
Right.
and so I think it all really
that.
ties
Yep.
back into what you're
And
doing.
how much this family has put a devastating tragedy to try to do good moving forward,
Right.
and really trying to change it for other people.
Right.
I think they will have a booth at the marathon on the Common.
Yes.
They typically do. It's very much an awareness
I don't have
booth.
my bracelet on today,
But-
but they'll have Keep Abbie bracelets, hats.
Oh, good.
But do stop by if you're out this weekend. Check it out.
If you live in Hopkinton and you're not out this weekend, it's really weird.
But I think if not only if people personally want to support, but they know of companies that would support, or corporate sponsorships. We're talking to a lot of various companies who are taking it very seriously and really looking at it, and are actually excited to get involved.
It really is a huge issue when
That affects everybody.
when you talk about the millions, and I don't know what it is, it's like 1 in, but it is a high number, and it is increasing. And like I said, you might start out with a nominal, I feel slightly itchy.
Right.
But the next time it's itchy, and it just keeps, and many people don't even know. Like
And
you didn't know.
I didn't know.
And until you're actually in it, you really don't know what it feels like.
And actually, every time for me, it's been a little different. Sometimes it's the throat. Sometimes it's hives. Sometimes it's, I get this flush of like heat. And
I get stuff right here sometimes, like right here, like the rash might start right here on my chest.
I'll get so itchy. Like if my scalp starts to get itchy, I'm like, I know.
Wow.
I know. Yeah. So each time it's
get
a little different.
hivey sometimes, or maybe it's just psychosomatic.
I'm going to send this picture to Courtney to post up later, but when you get a KeepSmilin4Abbie bracelet or anything like that, it's neat if you go someplace and things like that. Take a picture with it, email it to the foundation, and it's showing that the love of Abbie is going around the world, and it's actually building awareness. People see the charity, see the link, and maybe they go on and donate. They may go on to the Amazon Smile site and decide to, hey, I'm going to shop there anyhow, and I need laundry detergent and a vacuum and a new blouse, and I might as well give 5% of it to KeepSmilin4Abbie.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'd also like to give a lot of credit to the Benfords. I mean, I've sat in so many meetings with them now, and they're talking about this over and over and over every day to people, and I can't imagine my children are the same age, and I give them a lot of credit that they've taken this tragedy and they don't want anybody else to go through this, and they think that there's an opportunity for change. So I think that
is really cool.
Kudos to them and to you for coming out, telling your story, and supporting them. And
well, I feel I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed, and I'm here. And so I told them this is my duty. It's my duty.
I'm going to read off a list of runners, and and I have to look at the paper to do some of this, but so Lisa's KeepSmilin4Abbie, along with Samantha Lee, Wave 4. And Wave 4 is actually going to be popular with Real Housewives and a lot of Hopkinton charity runners. We've got Lisa Brown running for HCA. We've got Ann Michelle Dragsbeck for Project Just Because. Maureen Tumbleton is actually a regular runner. Charlotte Bradshaw is running for Metro West YMCA. Leah Holmes is running for the Library Foundation. Katie Davenport is a qualified runner. Christina McPherson is a qualified runner. Carolyn Ball is running for the Hopkinton Women's Club. Linda McCormick is running, she's running under her maiden name, Orthlip, and I don't know what charity she's running for. Carrie Desenol, and I have Jennifer Green running for Spalding Rehab, are among just some of the Real Housewives.
And if we missed you, sorry.
Sorry.
But you know what's fabulous? I mean, you listed that list of names, and we may not have even gotten them all. And then on the heels of having Bobby Gibb in town, who was the first woman to run 50 years ago.
She wasn't official. She hopped in to kind of prove a point that women could indeed run a marathon.
And I went to a dinner that honored her the other night, and Bill Rogers was there, and Abbie Burford, who wrote the book on First Ladies Running.
Yeah, let's hold that up.
And what was cool about it, she told her story how she came out from California, took a Greyhound bus for 3 days, and ate nothing but nuts and apples, and you know, showed up and called her parents, "Come get me, I'm going to run the marathon." And they thought they were nuts, but her mother drove her out here to do it. She hid in a forsythia bush, jumped out, and did it. And
it didn't push.
and she was actually qualified to run. That was the thing. She was qualified.
She was fast enough.
And she actually went on and ran in. So this is 1966. She went on, and that year, following year, they allowed women. She won in '67 as a woman runner, and she won again in '68. So she won those. She did go ahead and run New York years later.
We're getting close to finish. Tell us
other
our final things.
One other thing I want to say is that, you know, the marathon, shuttle at Hopkins State Park, shuttle at South Street. Please don't try to drive downtown. Roads are closing at 7
a.m.
First wave with wheelchairs and stuff is starting at 8:50 a.m. You got to hang out though, because the wave 4 with all those women and a lot of the charity runners and hopping runners is at 11:15. So these waves are going on and on and on.
All morning.
And
supposed to be good
do you want
weather.
to share about this real quick?
Yeah, but sure. We're excited. So this independent issue is wonderful. And so there's an ad for the Real Hopkinton Housewives that it's open to all women and men from Hopkinton and anywhere to join the website, get information, get deals and discounts, and support what we're doing. Net proceeds go to different charities, and we're excited about that.
And
so
it's Boston Day. Everyone do something good. Support KeepSmilin4Abbie.
Yeah. Lisa, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen Belisi from Golden Pond Assisted Living in Hopkinton. Staying active is essential to happy and healthy aging. Golden Pond has activities for seniors and people of every age.
There is a diverse range of opportunities to be had.
We've made some friendships, not acquaintances.
If you'd like to participate in any of Golden Pond's upcoming events, visit the events page on Golden Pond's website or call 508-435-1250 for more information. We hope to see you soon.